I'm Fiera Luna, and I play games on the internet. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by, and if you've been here before, welcome back. Today, we're playing Ace Attorney. Yeah, the lights are up. It Crimbus. So the lights go up all December. You can't stop me. All December. Lights. Will they be up past the 25th? Yes. Why wouldn't they be? I leave them up. We leave them up until like January 7th. Actually, I think I took them down last year at the end of December. But still, it Crimbus. It Crimbus for sure. Okay. Crimbus time. I got Crimbus. I got Crimbus earlier. Got very excited about getting Crimbus. Oh, very excited indeed. For those of you that wish to know, I have been given a Crimbus village. I'm going to terrorize it. I'm going to terrorize it so good. It's so small. It made me feel so big. Oh, it's going to be so good. Oh, there's another thing that I'm going to get. It's a game called Carrion. Whatever, however you say that thing where it's dead aminal. It's fine, whatever. It's a game where, okay, so you know the movie The Thing, or Harbinger Down, or anything like that, where there's a spooky monster, and it's a spooky boy, full of wiggliness and, like, flesh tentacles. Well, you see, Carrion is a game like that, where there's a spooky boy full of flesh tentacles that's out to eat everybody in a secret base. But fun fact about it, about that game, you're the spooky boy. You're the spooky boy! You get to eat everybody! And I'm so excited. I want to eat everybody. Well, I mean, I don't want to eat... you know what I mean. I want to play the video game. You told me to say something. I love it. It's one of my favorite bits. Anyway. Aww. Val, you know this stream is lurker friendly. People don't have to say things if they don't wanna. But welcome in, everybody. We're literally in VC. Well, have fun playing whatever game. Anyway, back to solving murders. Oh, okay. So you think that all I wanted to do was go visit Mindy? Well, I dressed up as Santa and climbed up to the chimney, but the smoke was really thick. It was a case of mistaken identity, and that mistake made me late for the speech. Then, to top it off, I became a suspect in a murder. That's what you really meant. But why would I ever put myself through so much humiliation on purpose? I know exactly why. We've still got a note that says Mindy on it. I love how Edgeworth and Lang are both like, well, cause Lang has that, okay, I've known this man for 5 minutes, I know exactly what he's like. And Edgeworth has known this man since they were 5, and he knows what Larry is like. Literally, this is someone who, has a phrase about him, when something smells, it's usually the butts, cause his last name is Butts. Come on, now. Hey, someone say something. Larry, are you seriously trying to submit this? Not as a confession, but as testimony? Well, so what if I am? Is there something wrong with that? My claim is a claim, claiming my claim. Do you have a problem with that? Larry, we need to get you a thesaurus, just like we need to get one for Francisca. So it was you. You're my stalker. But I should warn you, it doesn't matter what kind of flattery you throw at me. I'm the devoted type of woman who's wholly focused on one man. Long as Edgepoo is alive, I can't just drop him to be unfaithful. And so on and so forth. She's very in love with Edgeworth. I'm not reading all of this. I'm so inspired. You're such an inconsiderate, cowardly, idiotic, and all-around completely worthless man. I thought I heard something ominous just now, but perhaps it was just my imagination. I believe there's nothing further for me to prove at this point. What do you mean? Of course you've still got something to prove. You still have to show some proof that I was trying to meet up with Mindy. Proof, you say? Remember, Edgy? Everything is evidence in court, right? You mean evidence is everything in court, Larry, but I understand your point. Yeah, see, I'm totally a pro at this now. Edgeworth. Very well. If you wish to see the evidence, then let me show you the last piece of evidence you'll ever wish to see. I know exactly what we need. I'm sure of it. I'm not even going to bother figuring this stuff out. I'm going to tell him why. The note. We're putting the note. We're going to tell him why he went to all that trouble. Well, you see. Oh, no, that's to Mr. Edgeworth. Where's our stalker note? There's our stalker note. That's Larry's garbage writing, and I believe it. Welcome in, Sir B. I've already lost some life on this, but I believe this. Larry, don't even think about denying that you have knowledge of this letter. Hey! Why are you showing that thing to me? Fendi, I'll be descending on you from above tonight. Your loving knight. Well, isn't that just romantic? But you weren't able to descend on her from above, were you, Mr. Loving Knight? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember a thing. You can pretend to be ignorant all you'd like, but it's written right here. This letter proves that you were not out to meet the old lady, but rather that you were attempting to pay Ms. Mindy a visit. Oh, this is his bad handwriting. Take that. Larry, I suggest you take up penmanship lessons. That is, if you never wish to experience this level of embarrassment ever again. Because you can see the way he writes his eyes. Especially on Loving. That is meant to be an eye, you guys. Your handwriting is not worse. I just witnessed something in a different stream. Oh no. Well, you can witness my stream instead. Witness me! And then I spray myself all full of chrome and then do something cool in a car. I'm told that's how that works. I also have a sandwich to munch. I was making a sandwich and then Christmas showed up. Mm. Mm-hmm. I made those lights myself. I made them last year. I was gonna make new, more different lights this year, but I really like these ones. I might put up more decor as we go. We'll see. I'm just really pleased with how these ones came out. Well, what the heck? What are you talking about? Speak English.
You wrote Mindy so sloppily that it became Wendy to the average eye.
Hey, stop picking on me. It's so embarrassing.
There. Isn't that what childhood friends are for? They're the best, aren't they? For punching. But that'll have to wait until we're off of this crime scene.
Eek! Edgy, save me from the scary man.
Sure, if you're willing to make amends. Starting with your incredibly embarrassing mistake.
That wasn't me.
Come again.
It's a fake. Someone's out to get me, so they made that fake letter. To set me up. Accept your defeat graciously. But you guys are being so mean.
Accept your defeat graciously, coming from Francisca. Francisca Vaughn, I whipped everybody in this courtroom several times when I was defeated even a little bit. Karma. Ma'am, come on. Accept your defeat graciously, Francisca. Edgeworth, call her on that.
I'm trying to logistics out how to bite sandwich without dropping controller. Okay.
Francisca literally knocked out Phoenix after she lost. You're right. Second Ace Attorney case, Francisca loses that case. She just whips him unconscious. And he's like, well, might as well. This might as well happen to me.
Hold it.
Penmanship analysis.
What's that?
No matter who, all people have certain unique features to their handwriting. Ergo, all we have to do is compare the handwriting in this letter to a sample of yours. And we'll know soon enough who it was that sent this letter.
I'll never write another thing in my life.
It's no use, Mr. Loving Knight. For you've already graciously provided me with a sample of your handwriting. Oop.
Yep.
And there's that same eye.
Take that.
This autograph and our mysterious letter. If we compare the handwriting, we'll know the answer to our questions soon enough. Confess now, Larry, to your miserable failure.
I'm sorry. I did it. It was me causing trouble again. I admit it. You hit the nail right on the head, Edgy.
So he finally confesses.
I saw the pink princess being carried around in a stretcher and got worried, alright? I wanted to go into Mindy's room, but the doctors wouldn't let me in. So what choice did I have? It was the chimney or bust, Edgy. Your mind jumped from the door to the chimney? What a criminally overactive imagination. Well, at least I was honest and wrote Mindy a letter and stuck it under the door. That way she wouldn't be shocked when I came down through the chimney.
Except for the fact that the letter was an utter failure at conveying said sentiment. I'm really, really sorry. Larry, you may be a shameful, good-for-nothing blight on the face of humanity. However, I always knew you weren't the killer. I told you to trust me. Because, at the very least, I can attest to that about you.
Edgy, you're... Ah! We've lost a lot of valuable time because of you. Ow! Coming down through the chimney like Santa, how fitting. Yes, this is this. In any case, I believe we can say that we now know exactly what happened. Mr. Larry Butts sought to climb down the chimney, not for access to the crime scene, but enters the room of the elderly lady next door. Francisca is feeling rather jolly. Francisca's rather proud of herself. She is. Quite pleased indeed, I think. Ow. Mm. Mm. Ah, how jolly. Solving murders, festively. Exactly.
Great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Although, I still find it a bit unbelievable that the two of you are friends. But the suspicion on that guy over there isn't completely resolved yet, so don't get any funny ideas about running off, okay?
Ow? Hey, what? Edgy, what does the Wolfman mean when he says I'm not off the hook yet?
He means the murder weapon. Larry, did you forget? There are 2 layers of suspicion hanging over your head. That's exactly what I mean. We can't only rely on the words of our suspect, after all. We may have figured out where he was and what he was doing all night. But the blood-stained samurai sword that was left at the crime scene... As long as there's no satisfactory explanation for that, this wolf will refuse to ease up on his bite.
Lang? Sir? What? Okay. Eek. Edgy, that guy. He looks like he's seriously about to take a bite out of me. That's what I thought. I'm not going to say anything. Chat, listen.
I'm well aware, and you should be as well, that this upcoming battle will be crucial.
Super busy today, but wanted to drop a lurk. Thanks for the lurk. I shall paint defensively. To ensure I am not surprised. I will be surprised, though. We know me. I play a roller, and I still drop down into places I know full well I shouldn't. I'm just like, oh, look at all that enemy ink. That's surely fine for me to drop into. What the heck is Larry wearing? He is wearing the Steel Samurai outfit. He was playing the Steel Samurai today. Oh, it's okay. Have fun and or good luck with whatever you're doing, and or both. Welcome in, Kat.
Thanks to the cooperation of our lovely bumbler, I've been dealt a very nice hand. And a sweet trump card. Looks like we're about to enter the final bout. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, let's see what you've got. I can easily point out the contradiction in the supposed murder weapon. But the real problem for me is figuring out what the real murder weapon is. This will be a high-stakes gamble. But this is one game I can't afford to lose. Why Larry? I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask too. Beside him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect. Larry Butt's in here, too. Can I have...
Hey, Fier, can I have a hammer? Probably not. Though I have sent you hammer skins in Guild Wars too.
This answers nothing.
I can explain. Okay, so, we are in a country's embassy. The country has split up. It used to be called Codofia, but now it's split up into Alabast and Babel. There's been a murder. There's been 2 murder.
I promise I won't go around banning people with it. Yes, I see you're playing the funny game again with Banhammer in it. There's been 2 murders, one on each side of the embassy, so one in each separate country. Hilarious, I'm sure. One of them was a guy who definitely did a murder a long time ago. And one of them is a thief. A thief! Who was theffing. He was doing thief stuff. And so Larry, dressed as the Steel Samurai, was in this room when there was murder. So now we're like, dang, Larry, what? The reason Larry's dressed as the Steel Samurai is because these countries are really into 2 rival shows. Alabast, this is the embassy we're inside of, is really into the Steel Samurai, and Babel is really into the Jammin' Ninja. Rival shows. I don't know how to explain. Edgeworth is a huge Steel Samurai fan. He'll never admit it in a million billion years, but he loves that show in the way that only like a nerdy fanboy can. The kind of thing where like he says stuff like, I wouldn't expect you to understand the intricacies of the relationship between like these 2 characters kind of thing. And Francisca rightly is like, isn't this show intended for children though? And I'm like, oh no, she's got him. Mm-hmm. To make matters worse, the murder weapon is one that the Steel Samurai, like a prop weapon that the Steel Samurai carries around. Larry claims he forgot it, which makes sense because it's Larry. He's garbage at these things. And also his spear was up against the back wall. So, but at the same time, his fake sword, is covered in blood. Covered in the victim's blood, and this is a bit of a problem. Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership? But this owner wanted to sneak into the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you? If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You 2 are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi? You're accusing me of fabricating evidence. You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. To be fair, at this point, we don't know Lang's problem. I'm sure it's just iron-scented jam. Yes. Fear, I tried to dance to Fly Octo Fly and I tripped. Does that mean you also flew, technically, off your feet? Yeah, Val's got it. He's Von Karma's apprentice. And, Manfred von Karma, Francisca's father, was big on getting a guilty verdict no matter what, to the point where he would forge evidence. We know that he's forged evidence for sure. We don't know if Edgeworth has ever forged evidence. We don't know for sure. The very first Phoenix Wright game suggests that he probably has. But as the series has gone on, it gets harder and harder to think that that's true. But it's a little tricky to work out because Edgeworth for a long time, was also very big on guilty verdict or nothing, and he never lost a case until he came across Phoenix. Oh, this guy, Lang? No, Lang's even sweet in public. He's mad right now because he's mad at us. He doesn't like prosecutors for reasons. But he is absolutely precious with literally all of his subordinates, everyone he like actually cares about. Like, he is super kind to all of them. Like, they love him. And for a man who is as scary as he is sometimes, he is very kind and sweet to everybody else. Did he go to jail for murder? No, not Lang. Lang's an investigator with Interpol. Or rather, technically he's from Zhangfa, which is a republic not too far from where everything in Phoenix Wright takes place. Which is... it's been harder and harder to Americanize where Phoenix Wright is taking place. It is taking place in Japan, but they do their very best to Americanize everything. It just doesn't work very well anymore. They did a great job for the first game. And then the rest of it, they were like, because Ace Attorney 2, one of the main plot points of Ace Attorney 2 is a secession crisis in a family of spirit mediums. And, like, I don't even know how to start with how that's not a thing here. And how huge a thing that would be there. Like, it's impossible to Americanize that. Because there's nothing you have that's equivalent. Like, at all. I can't think of... Like, maybe there is, but I cannot think of anything that's equivalent in the States. Right. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, right. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors. Well, but come on. I can't think up something as complicated as that, right, Edgy? Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you, or me, for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being, meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. Okay. This isn't as easy as the other one.
Hold it.
Tell me about it, Lang. He looks very Genshin, yes. Yes, Lang looks very Genshin, you're right. I feel like he's not quite over-designed enough to be a Genshin. I feel like he needs slight over-designing and a little bit of softening of some of his features. Actually, maybe modern Genshin. But he looks a little more... I would argue that he looks a little more Honkai Star Rail. Yeah! Haha! Bells got me. I've seen the character designs for Honkai. I don't care for any of those games very well. I tried to play Genshin for a little bit and just... it was fun, I guess, but it wasn't quite for me. That's all. And I got really frustrated because it didn't give me the characters I wanted, and I was like, but I want the characters I want. And I didn't like that. Felt a lot like playing a Muso, actually. Put him on the Luofu. Ah, yes! Zenless Zone 0. It's so great. You never get the characters you want. I know, right? But that's how it is with all gacha games. The character you want the most of all always has a 0.001 chance of dropping or something. Lafu. No, I see it. My ability to Romanize, to read Romanized Chinese names is not. It doesn't. A month or so ago, I showed my mom the Smash Bros. Fan game with Phoenix Wright. She didn't know who he was, so I explained Ace Attorney, and she was like, people find court fun? Yeah! That's why we have games like Power Wash Simulator. We love that stuff. It's how they get ya. $200 spent. Oof, yep, I've been there. I will say, I've spent money on some games. Guild Wars 2 is one of those games that I've spent actual money on, but I've also played for 9 years. So, like, you know what? That game is for me. I usually have decent luck in gacha games. The problem with me is the problem with me that I had in Fire Emblem Heroes, where I have excellent luck if I was anybody else. I just roll up and I'm like, we're gonna play the video game. It's gonna be amazing. And like, with Fire Emblem Heroes, I would save up all my gems for a banner I really wanted one of the 5 stars off of. I would draw, and I'd get something that was amazing and super rare and whatever, but not what I wanted. Like, it feels good to say that I haven't spent a single cent on a mobile game. Yes, good. Do not spend money on mobile games. They do not deserve it. I know, right? The X-Packs for Guild Wars 2 are indeed worth it. Oh yeah, one of the folks that I follow on Blue Sky has literally just started. If she's still up this late, we'll go see her later. Meppermint Polka. Spelled like peppermint mocha, but with the first 2 letters, with the P and the M switched. If she's still up at this hour, we'll go visit her. Kantha is amazing. I love Kantha a lot. Yeah, that's the one. If she's still up at this hour and playing the video game, we'll go see. We'll go see her when we're done here. Oh. So you were the first to discover the body this time. This time? What's that supposed to mean? You better watch what you'd say. I only said this time because earlier, Kay was the first to discover the body in Babel. And your secretary, Agent Shina, was ready to accuse her of murder for that. Ha! So are you going to use that excuse to call me suspicious now? Of course not. I was simply pointing out the usual pattern with discoverers of bodies. But in the Babelese case, there was proof that she was holding the weapon, right? Well, in this one, it's a bit different, since we know exactly where the weapon is. Beside him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood.
Hold it.
Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood? Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty. It's certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Wow! Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Hang on. No. 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 I'm looking for an autopsy report or similar. Wait. No. Huh. Fear, can you blame me for liking Kantha as much as I did? Like, you know how excited I got. I might want to go back to do the, like, other chapters later. The other chapters are good. They give us more of Yao and more of, they give us, they give us June and they give us June and Chulmu arguing a ton. Chulmu is in charge of the Jade Brotherhood, and basically June and Chulmu spend all of their time arguing over Yao. Because Yao used to be in the Jade Brotherhood, and then went over to Junlai Jade, like, to go proper. And, like, they argue like parents. Like, there is a sequence in there where, like, they're fighting over the comms, and Yao's just, like, basically like, sorry, mommy and daddy are fighting again. And it's like, dang. Honey, you good? And they're just like, this is how it is with them. It's what they're like. Yeah, like, you know when you go over to that one kid's house and their parents aren't divorced yet, but you know that's coming. And they're just like, sorry. This is just how they are sometimes. That's the whole vibe, and it's so good. When will we get the Ace Attorney sequel, Demi Attorney? Okay, but what about Arrow Attorney? Yes, Arrow Ace Attorney. Perfect. Oh no, Val, honey. I was that kid for a good while. Well, the important thing is you're not anymore. Okay, the sword's not sharp, but the spear is big. Why wouldn't I just hit somebody with that? Like, if none of it's sharp and I wanted to hit somebody really hard, I'd whack them with this. Perfectly good other weapon. Hello, Romantic Ace Attorney. It's the one where you play as Gumshoe. Yes! Listen, we had this talk last time I played Ace Attorney. Back on Thursday. We had this talk that was basically just like, you know, I ship Phoenix Edgeworth really hard, but I can see why people sail Gumshoe Edgeworth. I can see that ship. I recognize them. And I recognize that ship as valid. That is a fair ship. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, all right, have your fun, enjoy the ship you like. I don't see it, I don't like it, but have whatever fun you want. Whereas with this, I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. This one's valid. We did. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to go on that tangent again. We've been there. But I know, right? I can see it, but to me, they seem like a platonic bromance. I know, right? And it's because Edgeworth is just there, like, come on, we ask, like, how's Edgeworth doing? And Gumshoe's like, he's, like, sitting by the window while it rains drinking tea, so better, I guess. Still sad, but better. And I'm like, oh no. And then I pictured Cabbage Hair Kaiba with the rain gif. Because of course I did. I'd like to kiss Francisca, please, and thanks. Good luck. There's a whip in the way. Good luck. Do you know what this is, Agent Lang? It's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. That's true. Piercing, mowing people down. Spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. Yes! Yes, heroes like, oh, the lightning guy. Oh, I forgot his name again. I keep trying to say Lu Bu, and I don't think that's quite right. That is a different spear-wielding hero, maybe. Maybe the same one. Wow. So many. Who's Francisca? I don't know many characters outside Nick, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Payne, and Maya. Francisca is the prosecutor of the second game. She is also in this case, and may, potentially, show up and do a little bit of whipping here. She's Von Karma's daughter. She's 18 in the game that she shows up in. She's a little older here, because this takes place later. There we are! Who's Francisca? We got her! It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So what's your point? Are you going to tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No. I simply want you to take a look at the section here. The way it's bent? Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. and you can clearly see the insides of the Steel Samurai's weapons are hollow. I'd love to cosplay her.
Yeah, she's the whip lady.
And in fact, there's a redeem around here for more Francisca. Got an ad for a car that knows what's ahead and knows what you're feeling when you're feeling down. Like, I don't need a car to give me therapy. Oh my gosh.
I done been bonked. I'm okay. It's fine. She can't hurt me. She can't hurt me. I'm too small and squishy.
In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet, there's not even a dent in this samurai sword. How do you explain that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that sword and the spear are made out of the same stuff, so they bend easily. But I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show.
The Steel Samurai's special move was changed tonight because of him?
Oh, Edgeworth, honey.
Oh, Edgeworth, honey!
Youch!
That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion.
He's so mean. He is. He's so upset.
This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risk in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Ms. Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken.
Gamble? Gamble? Is that a reference? Ooh, apparently my family owns a sword now. A Japanese sword my great-grandpa found during World War II. Neat! We love a good sword. I wish I could have a sword, but I'm too little. I'm too little. One time staff gave me one of those plastic swords, like the little ones that the olives, that you put in the olives, you know what I mean, on the sandwiches. They gave me one of those and I ran around with it. And then they said, no, don't, you'll poke your eye out with that. And I ran around with the little plastic sword anyway. I did not poke my eye out. Yeah, the toothpick swords. They're about the right size for me because I am 4 centimeters tall. So they're really big. They're slightly taller than I am, but that's okay. They're really big and I love them. It's funny. They don't even hurt anybody. They can't hurt anybody, and I was so sad. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get them. I can't get anybody with those. Yeah! Oh, I am the same size as Kirby. Oh my gosh! We're the same size! Oh! Wait, Kirby's 8 inches? I am smaller than Kirby. 4 centimeters is like 2 inches. Not even 2 inches. Wait. Hang on. It's 2.5 centimeters to 1 inch. I am very little. Approximately 2.5 centimeters to 1 inch. Because for some reason, y'all measure by feet. I don't know whose feet, but that's the thing you do. Oh, we hydrate as chat demands.
Body break.
Oh, dear. Okay. And a big stretch. Big stretch. Huh. I shouldn't know exactly how tall Kirby is. Should I? I think you should. I've seen that Smash Bros video on YouTube where they put everybody, like, they made the modifications to make everybody the size that they canonically are. So, like, Kirby and Olimar are super, super tiny. And then, like, Ridley's huge. Okay. And we'll do some shoulder presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think maybe I am bigger than Olimar, but I don't know how tall Olimar is. I also don't know how tall Pikmins are. I made some Pikmins. Can I eat him? No. But why not? That's true, you can eat the Pikmin. Probably shouldn't, but you can. Oh, you know what we should do? I have Pikmin 4. I have Pikmins 1 and 2 also, but I am very scared to play them because they are very ridiculous. They are tight. 2.9 centimeters tall. I am taller. Hi, Race. I am taller. Taller than Olimar. Be like a centimeter shorter than me. I'm so good at this. Yes. Taller than Olimar. Oh yes, where were we? Tall octopi. No, I'm only 4 centimeters. Oh, that's a Pikmin. Oh, okay. Then I am probably about the same size. If that's a Pikmin. Oh. It's fine. I'm going to terrorize a Christmas village. They gave me... That was the present. I got a Christmas village. So I'm going to build it and terrorize the heck out of it. You can't. He's from Hokate. I don't know how we're supposed to pronounce that. I try to pronounce it Hokate sometimes. Or Hokate. And sometimes I try to pronounce it Hokate. Can I eat a hammer? No, probably shouldn't. Hokatete. Hokatete. We're never getting that out of my mouth. Why does the wiki say Olimar is 1.9 centimeters tall? Well, it's wrong.
But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken, for no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place.
What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It is the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory.
That may be your opinion. However, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is...
I done been bugged. Oh. Oh. Okay, I'm better.
As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect...
I done been bugged again. Oh. Been bugged so much, Francisca turned into a green screen. Wow.
Why does she talk like a Cinderay? Just replace every instance of fool with baka. That's true. That's literally what's happening. She's all baka baka she, baka baka baka, etc., etc. Her JP dialogue is difficult to voice. Actually, no, it's not. It's just baka baka baka.
I done been bugged again. Wow. Oh.
As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth.
It's okay. I put it there so you all could.
And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk towards the truth. Lang? You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damask too without bending it. So what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need. Of course. What I need is evidence even he can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Oh boy. I know where the blood is. You remember that statue that's standing right behind me and has been in frame the whole time? I know where that blood is. It's underneath that statue. I'm willing to bet 100% that that statue is what happened. Hey, Fiera, can I give a scythe? A scythe that's also a gun? Only if you're a necromancer.
Don't drink holy water if you are harmed by holy water. We don't like that. But then again, maybe we can't stop you. People who are lactose intolerant are like, dang, I'm going to eat every cheese and also milk dish that I can. Nah, I drank the blood. I was feeling vampire-y. I love feeling vampire-y. I'm very... Can confirm it's just too good to give up. I know, right? I'm very vampire-y sometimes. But I also like to play Vampire the Masquerade, so that should surprise 0 people. For those of you wondering, I cannot pick a favorite clan. I love them all. They're each special and weird in their own way. But my favorite characters so far that I have played have been, we were playing a game of Vampire the Masquerade where one of us was actually playing Hunter the Vigil. So I faked being a Malkavian. In those days, Malkavians played a little bit differently. There was less nuance to them. It's not something we would probably do anymore, I don't think. And in fact, the folks who make Vampire the Masquerade right now have been like, yeah, so old Malkavians, listen, problematique, TM. We're better now. We learned our lesson about that. But at the time, you had to have, on top of the usual vampire things, all the other stuff. You had to have some kind of actual mental disorder. So I played a Malkavian who just carried their anorexia past the embrace. And the explanation for why I had 0 abilities and powers and such, and always smelled like humans all the time was, well, I keep trying to get it close to them so that I can have something to drink, but then I keep thinking, well, but maybe it's just going to go straight to my hips. And so on and so forth. And it was the funniest thing. I'm so proud. I won that game. I was thrilled. It was a great time. The other favorite character of mine is a Ventru I played. A Camarilla Ventru. His whole deal was picking up humans who had absolutely garbage circumstances and being like, hey, I am wealthy and fancy and cool, and I ask 2 things of you. A little bit of blood once in a while. Just once in a while, not a lot. And the other thing I ask of you is your absolute loyalty. Thanks. I'm not going to ask you to do anything weird or kill anybody. I'm not even going to ask you to lie for me or anything like that. I literally just don't want, if somebody comes by and is like, hey, I'm cooler than that guy, don't go with them. And tell me. That's it. And he was great. Loved him. Taking a quick break to draw and listen in. Have fun! And and the last of my favorites was a Toreador. I got really tired of playing Team Dad, which I often am. The Leonardo of the group, if you will. And if you are a Ninja Turtles. If you are not a Ninja Turtles, perhaps the Red Ranger, I suppose? Or I don't know. I wanted to do something silly and be silly and fun and not have to be the serious guy all the time. So I played a Toreador. So I played a Toreador. And he was an art dealer. And the way that he decided if art was good or not was, so Toreador can be mesmerized if something is too beautiful. They love beauty and passion and things that make you feel like, you know that feeling you get when you see somebody who's drawn the most beautiful piece of work that you can't even conceive of making even in your entire lifetime, and you're like, whoa, or
when you stand in one of those old-timey cathedrals that has the whole ceiling done and you look up and you're like, dang. Or when you stand out in a field in the prairies and like the stars are everywhere and there's no tree line and it's just stars and you look up and you're suddenly swallowed by space and you're like, whoa, I am overwhelmed by the beauty of the cosmos. His whole shtick was like, well, if it doesn't mesmerize me, it's not pretty enough to be in my collection. So he had one of the other folks with us in that campaign was his assistant, who would periodically be like, sir, I take it this one. Followed by either, yes, what? Like, it was great. Space, the final sub-tier. Exactly. Oh, right, we were playing a video game. Vampire the Masquerade is a different fun thing. Tori, Fier, would I make a good assistant? Probably. You do go out of your way to help other people, like, a lot. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone, and under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. That's not true. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? I know that's not true because it's definitely on the statue. We can see that in the background, that the statue's turned wrong ways. How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned. And we've managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. That's not true! You left no stone unturned? Is that a fact? Let me present it now! Don't even make me go through the testimony! If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. No! They're making me go through the testimony! I just wanted to present the thing! Super unrelated, but Fier, if you ever do Mega Man Battle Network, I'd be silly because the bad guys are called World 3, but but the characters only say www because internet. But they're meant to be known to know it as World 3. I love that! I love that. That is 10 out of 10. Oh, that is Japan making a secret organization name right there. That's exactly how they'd be. I'm going to take this opportunity for sandwich. Munch, munch. Mm. Mm. Hmm.
Hold it!
May I inquire as to how you were able to make such a claim, Agent Lang? Longji says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man. Rather than man, it's Agent Lang's quotes that are getting increasingly incomprehensible. We love Battle Network Wily. He's old and cranky and wants people to get off his dang internet. Yes! Wait, is Battle Network the one where you build the Mega Mans? I remember playing 2 Mega Mans. One of them we know is Mega Man and Base. And the other one was a grid-based system where we fought Mega Mans at each other. I think. Yeah. And I do believe we built our little Mega Mans. Like Metabots. Yes! I have played Battle Network, at least a little bit. Not much, because it wasn't my game. But I have played it, apparently. That is the list of Mega Man games I have played. And in fact, Mega Man and Base, I played the SNES version because I had it in a pack of emulator games. From long time ago. Where you use the .exe versions of the characters. Yeah, probably. I don't remember very much. I remember it was grid-based, and I remember we were robots that I fought robots about. And I also remember at the time thinking it reminded me a lot of Monster Rancher DS, or Monster Rancher, something about Monster Rancher and its grid system. And some other game, too. Good gravy. I can't remember good stuff about anything. Anyway. The human body is a mysterious thing. Even with a toy-like sword, it's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Which is why I think it's possible to kill with this thing without leaving a dent. But we can only be sure... no, I was right. But we can only be sure on one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword. Huh, I know that. But as long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I'd like. I don't think it is. Trivia time! What's the name of the main character who operates Mega Man Exec? Oh, right! There were humans in that game. That was the whole shtick. Weren't there? Was Zero in that game? Lan Hikari? Really? What a name! Japan, come on! Japan, come on! It's Mega Man Battle Network, and the character's name is Lan. And Hikari is a really common name. Hikari is a really common name for a good character because it sounds like the word for light. They may read it differently, but like they may spell it with different kanji, but because it sounds like the word for light, they use it a lot. So you'll usually get like Hikari and like facing off with the Dark Lord Yami. And you'll be like, I think I see what's going on here. So they named their character Lan Good Light, basically. Oh, Zero is in Battle Network. I'm not crazy. Listen, if there are 3 characters I recognize in Mega Man, one of them is Mega Man. The other one is Zero because of his long, beautiful hair. And the last one, the last one might be Dr. Wily. Might be a robot. Oh, so his name's basically Chris Wi-Fi, Mick Wi-Fi. Exactly. That's exactly what you have there. And it's just the funniest thing. Being forced in an elevator, I'm going to regret. Well, have fun. Zero.exe also has his fancy hair. Yeah! We love that fancy hair. The main character for Komi Can't Communicate is Hirohito Tadano. Oh no, that literally translates to just a guy. Just a normal guy. That's amazing. I love that. Actually, favorite name that I have ever come across is the main character of Ghost in the Shell is named Makoto Kusaragi. It's basically like if you named her Jane Excalibur. And I love that. I love it so much. Yeah, of course. I'm off tomorrow anyway. Staff is like, well, we didn't give you a lot of days off, and we made you work weird days, so we're going to make you be off on weird days, too. And I was like, I don't like that. And aquarium staff went, well, too bad. And I went, aww. Well, it's because they have people from the university that also want in on this preliminary testing. So they came to visit. Then I had to do things while they're here. And they can go back to wherever it is that they came from. Probably like Arkham or something. That's always where they come to us from. Oh, never mind. Zero.exe doesn't have fancy hair. I was thinking of protoman.exe. Zero.exe is evil.
I will admit that sometimes I get Proto Man and Zero mixed up, but in my defense, some of their designs are pretty similar. Oh yeah, right, we were playing the video game.
But you must know that your conclusion is wrong. Given the circumstance I'm in, the only people I can trust are my subordinates. Because they're a much more trustworthy bunch than you prosecutors will ever be.
What is your problem with prosecutors, my man?
And you call yourself a professional? You still don't see, do you, Mr. Prosecutor? You have to earn my trust. And the only way to do that is to show me proof of another possible murder weapon. Another possible weapon? In this room, there's only one other thing left. This is going to be a gamble, but I can't withdraw from the game now. You're not going to get me to trust you by the power of your glare alone, you know. Plus, I have other reasons as to why I think the samurai sword is the murder weapon. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. I wonder, did you search everything? The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword? That's right, even with luminol, which means that there's no other possibilities outside what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with ancient Lang?
Yes!
If you believe that there's no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. Huh! And how do you plan to do that? By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy, and they have concluded that nothing else could have been used as a weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with this little hypothesis? Of course. Because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation.
Yes, I will go look. I must look at Zero. I must know if it's Zero or Proto Man that I remember. From my youth. My misspent youth. Oh, dang! Looky him! That's fancy indeed. He fanned all his hair out behind him to be fancy. But like, in a pointy Jolteon way. Not in like a normal hair would do this way. Why does Zero have hair now that I think of it? That doesn't seem like something you'd build into your robot. Mega Man also has hair? And Mega Man Volnut? Oh no!
It's not possible that they inspected everything because I stole evidence! Oh no! The hair is there to act as a wind guide or something, I don't know. I'll return. Fair enough. Because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damask 2. What exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this. Oh no, we're in Alabast. Can I present this? Can I present the statue? I mean, it's the statue.
Take that.
The National Treasure of Alabast. You mean the Prima Duck statue? Yes. And as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which, I believe, means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? Ha! You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident. Between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance. Over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined.
I must look upon Proto-Man. Yeah, it's Proto-Man, I remember. I know that hair. I'd know that hair anywhere. And beautiful.
Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime scene are different. And there's only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine that statue. Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He is most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this. Langji says, just go already. Yes, sir. Shifu. Yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Primadux statue. I see. Wait! But then, the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know? Agent Lang. What do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. What? But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet! I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're going to talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then, less talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminol chemiluminescence test on the statue. A luminol test? Ah, good thinking. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay! Let's get the forensics team in here.
Yeah, we didn't even have to touch it! Woo!
If I had a nickel for every time a Mega Man was buried underground, I'd have 2 nickels. That's too many nickels!
Wait, but was one of those underground buried fellows Drill Man? Because I am under the impression he drills himself underground. For to fight. And that's different. That's different than being buried. But still. Also, Drill Man may or may not be real. I might have just made that up. Sometimes I make up a Mega Man by putting together a word and man at the end of it, and then it works. X and Mega Man Volnut. Fair enough. Is Drill Man real, though? Did I? Okay, I didn't make him up. I envisioned a kind of reddish-orange guy with a drill on his head, and I was like, that's Drill Man, all right. Maybe brown? I don't know how to explain the color I envisioned, but I was like, he's definitely real, though, right? Yeah! We did it. I roughly remembered a guy. Yes! Yes! Oh, I'm remembering Mega Mans. Sometimes I get them mixed up with Bombermans, depending on this, series. It's so sad. It's so sad. Sometimes I get them mixed up with Bomberman villains, too, which is also sad. Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damask, too. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask II, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that this is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Ha! You think so? Okay, knock yourself out. Ooh. Hey, that's a whole handprint!
And what do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint? What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. I should like to point out that the reason that Edgeworth is making that sound is because he's holding up the statue. Bomberman, not to be confused with Mega Man's Bomb Man. I know, right? Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir. Good, and? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Babalese embassy? The prints belong to him, Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's impossible. Each Prima Deck statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babel's Prima Deck statue. Impossible! It can't be! Yeah? Larry never once set foot on Babalese soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an Alabastian knife in Babel. And Damas II was killed on Alabastian soil with Babel's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. But Bobman is some kind of weird duck thing. Oh, yeah, fair. It was a weird robot design, Dr. Light. Oh, Dr. Light. You make some guys. You'd think the statues would have some sort of identifier. They do not, in fact. One of them is fake. So the reason that they don't have an identifier is because one of those two statues is a fake, and the other one is real. That's literally why these countries split up. Because each of them was like, well, we've got the real statue. And nobody could agree. Yeah, so they have 0 identifiers to tell us who's who. Although I will say, they're holding their swords in opposite directions. So one of the fakes is, is definitely fake for sure. Aww. I love that you can read the entire sign. I appreciate that. I don't know who Melanie is, but congrats! I should play a Mega Man one of these days. I will be very bad at it. That's just how I am. Mega Man is a platformer like Sonic, where if you miss the cycle, you miss the cycle. It's not Mighty Number 9, where if you miss the cycle, you wait to die. But if you miss the cycle, you miss the cycle. It is cheese balls time. Sometimes staff still lets me in the container. Sometimes they put them in a little bowl for me. You'll never guess where I am. We don't speak of Mighty Number 9. That's fair. I don't know all the controversy surrounding it, but I know it was a bad time. Oh yeah, speaking of controversy, welcome to Guild Wars 2, every Final Fantasy XIV player that that got upset about the path the story direction took.
You never even got a copy of it? Wow, that's so sad. On the other hand, I guess goodish.
Mega Man Volnut is the most anime of all the Mega Men. Amazing. I've left the Damask 2 investigation to Francisca and returned to Babal. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babal's statue.
Mr. Edgeworth!
So, Kay, what's the situation?
Oh, it's great! Investigating is so much fun!
In other words, they've made absolutely no progress.
We weren't goofing off, honest, sir. We've been investigating our hearts out.
Very well, then. Would you care to give me an update on your investigation?
Oh, we've had a really fun time, sir.
I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir?
You have permission to enter the Alabastian Embassy, is that correct?
Yep. As a local detective, I'm helping out with the investigations on both sides, sir.
Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask.
The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir?
The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday.
Ugh. Oh, understood, sir. If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, then I guess I'll unload them somewhere.
He doesn't seem all that enthused to go find her, but I can't blame him.
Evidence that's lost their value given to Detective Gumshoe.
Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either.
What? Are you really going to throw that autograph away?
Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake.
Steel Samurai's autograph scrunched up into a ball and disposed of. Edgeworth! Wait, what? What do you mean by a fake?
Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping.
Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Okay. We've still got the samurai dogs. Oh no, when are we gonna need those? I'm scared. Probably for the best, but they could have given me the money back. They didn't even give the... Ooh, that makes me so mad. That makes me the whoopsie doodle. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh. Excuse me a moment. That makes me so mad. I did it again. But still, I'm so mad. So mad I changed places. Grr. Didn't even give the money back. How dare? How dare? I'm mad on your behalf, but years after the fact. Oh, no. Wah. Okay, back to the normal thing. Mega Man Volnut is the most anime of all the Mega Men. You're right. That is what would happen. Mega Man Volnut looks like what would happen if, like, if the folks who make Sailor Moon had a crack at Mega Man, but not the folks who, not Clamp. Clamp doesn't make Sailor Moon. They have a slightly different style, but he definitely looks like the folks who make Sailor Moon had a crack at Mega Man. And I mean that in the best possible way, like 10 out of 10. Okay, so what were we doing here? We're investigating.
A ladder.
Actually, that's a stepladder.
They're the exact same thing.
No way! From their structure up, they're totally different. But of course, from a thief's perspective, the best kind of ladder is the rope ladder. A stepladder is much too heavy to carry around, after all.
And from the prosecutor's perspective, any type of ladder is guilty of being dangerous during an earthquake.
Of course you'd think of that, Edgeworth. Oh yeah, in case you In case you guys are wondering, that step ladder joke started in the first Phoenix Wright, and it never goes away the whole series.
Bags full of cement powder are stacked up here. I suppose they're for the renovation.
Yeah, because I don't smell a drop of gold here, or any other treasure for that matter.
Okay, the only scent you should detect in a place like this is the smell of sweat.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! Oh, no! Oh, guys, I'm sorry about the reality cracking. Mr. Edgeworth, that was a pretty good play on words there. Ah, Gummy! Don't randomly jump into one of our dialogues like that!
Were you eavesdropping on us, Detective Gumshoe?
No, it's not like that, sir. Oh, wow, it really hates this construction site. I was a really good video about the ladder, and it determined whether or not it was a step ladder. I love that. Yeah, sometimes my Switch does that. It does that in Splatoon from time to time because it hates all those bright colors at once. So, how come so many traffic cones are red and white?
That's because they're highly visible from a great distance.
Oh, is that why? So then, the reason you wear that wine red suit is for visibility's sake?
Please don't compare me to a ragged plastic traffic cone.
Though now that she mentions it, I see it. Sorry, that glitching was me. I was just opening one portal.
It hates joy and whimsy.
Yes, it does. It hates being interrupted. It hates that Kay was interrupted. Hey, you're not going back to Alabaster already, are you?
No, not yet. I still need to gather a bit more information first.
I was literally trying to walk around Gumshoe so that I could talk to my guy here.
Okay.
Ooh, scaffolding. Just looking at these scaffolds makes me want to climb them. Fair, Kay. I get you. I also want to. I can see where I would put me and how I would get up them.
I recommend that you do not try. There was a fire burning here not too long ago.
Yeah, but I think enough time has passed, so it should be alright. Thief Child says, if there is a height to be scaled, then scale it you must.
Starting from Thief Child, would you care to explain what you just said?
No, she wouldn't. Okay, let's talk to Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth!
You look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective.
Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as a good investigation, sir. Yeah, Thief Child. Kay! Kay's a Thief Child.
So, what did you find out?
Well...
I take it he's found nothing of any particular use, as usual.
Well, hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got something really interesting from Ambassador Plano.
Oh? And what is this something interesting?
This, sir.
I bet it's more buffet tickets.
It's not? Wow, that's so pretty. I'm so jealous. That's a real treasure there.
Why does the flame burn green, Detective?
So apparently, if you burn the special wit crystal oil that they only make in Babel, it burns this green color, sir.
Interesting. So it's a special property of the oil. I suppose this is a ploy to force people to visit Babel should the oil run out.
Hey, Gummy, what about those silhouettes? They stuck some cutouts on the outside of the lantern so it'd project the images.
Oh? Silhouettes, huh? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation.
Hey, what's wrong, sir?
There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much?
Uh-huh. You got it, sir. Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff? Well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner. I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant.
I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Alright. There's a sign here warning passersby to take precautions around the renovation site.
They're really going all out, huh? There's construction going on everywhere.
I believe Ambassador Polano said it was to attract more tourists and visitors.
But what can they do with the new stuff they're building? Hey, what do you think they should do, Mr. Edgeworth?
How about transforming it into a courthouse?
Hey, be serious!
But I was being serious.
Oh, Edgeworth, honey. Wit crystal sounds illegal. No, it's fine. I love when games allow you to interact with everything, even for a simple funny sentence. Me too. One of these days we'll play the game where the rock is the villain. Like, literally, it's a rock. The villain of the game. It's a big rock. I don't know how to explain this. Yeah, it's a point and click, right? And you know how generally speaking with point and clicks, they'll only have screens that have something on them? You know what I mean? Like, if you're walking down a road, they won't give you everywhere to examine. Not this game! This game is like, you walk 3 screens down the road, guess what? You get to examine, like, every screen around you. Is there anything there? Maybe. And they're unique. That's the best thing. So, like, the opening to that game is you walking down a forest path, like a dirt road, and you walk, like, 3 screens, but each of those screens has, to the left and right, like a little forest and a ditch and stuff, and you can turn around behind you and examine the screen you were just on. And you can go ahead, like, look ahead of you and examine that screen too. And it does mean that you end up in a situation where you're like, where's the thing? But you can't know if it's not on a screen because it doesn't tell you it's clear. Yes, it's a horror game. It's a horror point and click. Where the rock is the danger. Literally a rock. You thought you could escape, but I'm back. Welcome back, Jelly Bucket! It's a beautiful horror game. Alright, let's talk to Ambassador Polino and see if I can get his accent right this time. The accent I gave him. Ah, so you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these you can eat whatever you'd like. And these are... discount tickets for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern. However, these coupons do nothing for me right now. Yeah, I do. I pronounce it horror. I can't always get it out quite right. And unfortunately, it sounds very similar to things I can't say on stream around here. The horror is a spooky and evil rock. Yes, it's a spooky magic evil rock. It moves around and stuff. And also it glows sometimes. And also it incinerates people sometimes. Sorry, disintegrates them. Because it's a spooky magic evil rock. Yeah, somebody made the spooky magic evil rock really mad. And now it's spooky magic and evil. Normal rock things in the English countryside. The Rocky Horror? Oh no, don't give it a picture show. We love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We also love the Rocky Horror Show, which is the musical version. Ah! Jump scared by my own things. Welcome in, Darth and May. Welcome in. Ostensibly, we're solving murders today. But I keep getting distracted from murder solving by such things as Mega Man and Edgeworth Gumshoe is a valid ship, but Edgeworth Phoenix is where it's at. And I think it's called Barrow Down or Barrow Hill. I'll have to look it up. And a horror point and click. A horror point and click where there is, how do we say, a spooky evil rock. And that's the horror monster. This sounds like an obscure North American Lumberjack cryptid. I know, right? Nope. It's a spooky evil rock, but it's in the English countryside. I've never actually seen it. I just know that one of the main characters is trans and was super progressive for the time. That is Frankenfurter, played by Tim Curry. The movie and the stage play only get away with that because they are a horror and a comedy. Oh, the other thing is that Eddie, is played by a guy called a musician called Meatloaf, which I love, given the surprise cannibalism, which I think is 10 out of 10. My favorite thing in Rocky Horror is that Frankenfurter literally makes a man, the titular Rocky, literally makes a great big muscle man, and asking the two main characters, quote unquote main characters, Brad and Janet, who have just turned up here on a dark and stormy night, they give him, Frankenfurter asks them, so what do you think? And there's a pause, and then Janet goes, I don't know, I don't like a man with a lot of muscles. And Frankenfurter responds with, well, I didn't make him for you. And I'm like, yes! It's the best line! It's so good! I love it so much. I saw Mega Man is getting a movie or a series or something. What? Ooh. Ooh. Anyway, I can't talk too much about Rocky Horror on account of I know there are probably minors in my chat because I don't expressly ban yous. But it is a very silly movie. It's also interactive. If you go to a theater or a showing of it, a lot of times people will bring along the things that they need to interact with the movie. So at certain points, you do certain actions, like everybody in the audience does certain actions. In the olden days, when you could just do this, you would go to a showing, and when it was raining, because the opening scene, it's raining, and Brad and Janet get out newspapers to cover them, so you bring newspapers with you, you put them over your head during that sequence, and during that sequence, old theaters used to turn on the sprinkler system so it would rain. So you could experience it too. When they call for a toast, you throw toast at the screen. What else is there? There's certain call and response things. In the middle of one of the songs, Frankenfurter has a line welcoming, like, Brad and Janet show up at the door, and they're freezing because they're soaked, and it's raining, and it's dark. And Frankenfurter has this line that goes, I see you shiver with Antissa. And there's a really long silence there. So in that silence, what the audience does is go, say it! Say it! Patient. And, like, that's the thing. Yeah, you got it! Movie's called Secret Level, and it's CG. Ooh. We need a Mega Man X Metroid crossover. Ooh, I would love that. Like the SpongeBob 4D movie. Oh, no. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Oh, no, I think I might have lost the accent again. Well, normally we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract that extra bit of attention to Babel. I heard that tonight, over in the Alabastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Elba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Cochin told you that? Yes, he did. Which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Because of the fire the Yatagrasu started? Exactly. Ambassador Poleno, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Primadux statues. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Did you know that Helibast and Babel used to be one country called Cadofia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Primadux statue belonged to the founders of Cadofia. At least, that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed onto the King of Cadofia as a symbol of the country's wealth. So it was meant as a symbol of sovereignty and the right to rule, I take it? Yes, that's right. Which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's pretty petty when you think about it, though, I suppose. But if Elabast and Babel were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? Well, I have no reason to believe so.
The Prima statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if Ambassador Polano knows about what has happened to the very important key to diplomacy. Perhaps I should try showing him this key and see what he has to say about it.
Fear, how much have I missed? There's much Mega Man chatter.
You don't have to be sorry.
Y'all are allowed to yap in my chat, you know that. How else will I find out interesting things? I can't know all the everything forever. That's the important thing. Everybody's got different experiences and different things that they like, and I get excited on your behalf when you like things. Just like sometimes I get mad on your behalf when stuff makes you mad. I don't always know what it is, or what you're mad about, but I'll get mad anyway, 'cause you're upset. And I don't like that. That's not fair. Making people mad. Likewise, I'll get excited 'cause you're excited. It's a thing you like, and you get to have fun talking about it and stuff. Yeah, it's true. Nobody likes being... Well, some people like being upset, but they're different. They're built different. I'm not one of them. See? See? When we get excited about stuff, we go on at length. And sometimes people are like, dang, that's too long. That's too many length. You've gone on enough. I don't care. You can go on all you want. You know really weird niche trivia about a really weird niche thing? Tell me all about it. I am here for niche trivia. This is how I know things. I know things like, gosh, there's a Mega Man game. I can't remember if it's Fireman or Iceman that you have to get first, but it's one of those, because you would think fire and ice would be weak to each other. But fire is weak to ice, as I recall in that game, and not the other way around. They just forgored. Here's an interesting thing. Right now, there's only one place in Florida that's 9 degrees. Whoa. One of my favorite interesting things is that bees communicate by doing a wiggle dance. Yeah! Where they shake their behinds to tell each other where to find pollen. Yeah! Oh, if you ever want to see a wiggle dance, the Museum of Natural History here has a bumblebee hive. They have a bumblebee hive, and it's inside the museum, and it's glass on both sides, so you can see into the bumblebee hive. They even marked the queen out for you so you can spot her because she's got a big star sticker on her butt. I will look at the Mega Man Secret Level trailer. I will look upon it, and then I will show it to Huji, because Huji understands Mega Man and will explain to me what's going on. Listen, my understanding of Mega Man is limited to Mega Man and bass. One time I played probably Battle Network, I think. We've determined it probably was. And the Proto-Men and the Megas. That's the existence of my knowledge. And I am informed that the story put forth in the Proto-Men album that I really like is not a Mega Man game story. It's just like, it's a thing they did. It's effectively fan fiction. And I'm like, yeah, but I love it anyway. I'm here for vengeance. 10 out of 10 song. Likewise, The Stand, aka Manor Machine. I love them. They go so hard. They have no right to go so hard, but they do. Ooh, my nearest aquarium has one too, but I tend to avoid actually being near bugs. Pictures and videos are fun, but the real thing scares me. That's understandable. Bugs have spooky faces. Most of them. Yeah, we do. We love when the queen is noticeable. Next time I'm there, during the months that are not winter, winter is a bad time for bees. My wife's been to the Museum of Natural History and got me a shirt that has the periodic table of elements in it, in the shape of a Christmas tree, and says, "Oh, chemistry." I love that. Oh, chemistry, oh, chemistry. You make up all reality. I'd say the Megas is more accurate to the video games, but the Proto-Men are good too. Yeah, I treat the Proto-Men like a really cool fan fiction. Like, I'm here for, oh gosh. I'm here for, is there no one among you who values courage over life? And I was like, whoa! Wow! Dang, there was a bot? That was fast. Good work. Well done, mods. Mod, I suppose. I may perhaps have been destroyed by that line. Apparently the phrase, "the partridge in the pear tree," is actually the result of a mishearing of the original French lyrics to the 12 Days of Christmas. That tracks. Laser fast, I know, right? Mods, because of course there's more than one. Why wouldn't there be more? There's only one mod I would trust with my stream. Technically, I can mod my own stream, but then I wouldn't be playing the video game like I'm not doing right now. Val, you're with multiple mods. That's true. Val's here all the time. Doesn't let up. It's great. 10 out of 10.
Ambassador Plano, there's just one more thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes? And don't worry. You can ask me more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you'll be coming to Babel, yes? Thank you, but just the one is all I require. Manny Kochin, I'd like to ask you about this man who was your secretary. Sure. I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put it into one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose it's because he was an able man, was unable to detect his dirty dealings. It sounds like Mr. Kochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny's been really busy. Since I became the Babylese representative at the Country Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? Well, you see, had tonight's events proceeded without a hitch, our 2 countries were to reunify and become one again. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon.
Oh no, the Irish unification of 2024! Dirty deeds were done dirt cheap? Ho ho! Yes! They were very expensive in this case, actually. We love this.
I suppose not.
I'd like to present, the other statue. Ah! We hydrate his chat demands.
Body break.
Okay. And a big stretch. Big stretch. Oh yeah, don't forget Tuesday is the spooky game night, and Friday I'm showing you guys all crochet. Again. I've done crochet streams before. It has to be Friday, you see. Because that's when Cool Staff is in, and Cool Staff lets me ratatouille her a little bit if I want hands. I don't have hands because I am an octopus. But I need hands to show you guys how to crochet because you don't have tentacles. Probably. If you do have tentacles, I could show you how to do that. It's very similar to how you do it with hands. But, you know, with tentacles instead. And I suppose it depends on if you have, like, little suckers on your tentacles where you can hold on. We do all love Cool Staff. Cool Staff's great. Cool Staff lets me ride around on her head. The other aquarium staff member that's in that night, he thinks I'm cute. I like that. I get such squish.
Don't you hate it when you're carrying around a heavy statue and a big spear and a whole bunch of stuff in your pockets?
I know, right? I think in our case, we've just jotted down the details of those things. For once. Yeah, pretty sure we've just jotted down the details. Most of these things we've done. Phoenix, on the other hand, shoved a whole ladder in his pocket. There's a joke about it in one of the Phoenix Wright games that he just, like, jammed the whole thing in there. And Maya's like, what? Pourquoi? Okay. Or was it a stepladder?
Oh, the jokes.
Yeah, there's different staff in every night. For those of you that don't know, while I do this body break of, you did, there is a stepladder joke. There's one. Let's go. We'll do bicep curls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. For those of you that don't know, aquarium staff is very particular. They work in 6-hour shifts. Wait, 8-hour shifts. And there's always at least 2 people in here with me looking after me, because otherwise I will escape. That isn't an admission of guilt. That's just what I do. They know this about me. I want to go back to the sea. So if they're not watching me all the time, I will try to go back to the sea. Anyway, they work in 8-hour shifts. And there's 4 of those a day so that they overlap at the beginning and the end so that they can hand off me. At nighttime they're just security, but in the daytime they're science people. They're sciencemen. No, scientist sounds made up. You're sciencemen. Now they're arguing. They're arguing.
Why are you even talking to her? Stop that. You know she's just going to say something weird.
And now they're arguing that it's totally fine to talk to me and not everything I say is weird. They can have that fight. It's fine.
Is that a threat?
Oh no.
If only the lame scientists caring for me were cool sometimes.
I have a cool one. Hi, Carrie! Carrie's the one that brought me to Christmas. Carrie brought me Crimbus. I'm gonna build it tomorrow when I decorate and have a Crimbus. We're gonna have a Crimbus. What's a sun? I only know the lights above my head. Sun is like the lights above your head, but it's one big one, and it's really big, and it's huge. Did you race Peach yet? Not yet. I've also been brought a little Peach car, like the little Luigi car. I haven't even gotten her out of the box, because I went straight to stream. Straight to adventure. Whee! Let's see what Ambassador Polino has to say about this. It's a statue.
Ambassador Polino, if you could please take a look at this for me. The Prima Duck statue sitting in Alabast right now actually belongs to Babal. So it would appear. I received a call from Ms. Von Karma about this earlier. Then you will understand why I wish to inspect Babal's Prima Duck statue immediately. Because the statue currently in your country's possession. Yes, well, I've already inspected it myself. And it is definitely Alabast's statue. I know because it's the real statue. Then you're saying that Babal's was a replica? Oh, I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I received my orders from the leaders of Babal, and I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him to fix the results of the evaluation tonight. To say that we could not determine which statue was the real one. Why are you telling me this? Well, because you already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Even if Babal were to lose face, the reunification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic?
Hey, where you going? Are you heading back to Alabast?
Yes, but before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened.
Oh, you have the Yoshi cart! Yay! I'm all excited for the little Mario carts. They're fun, and they're just about the right size for me to ride around on. Staff doesn't like it. They don't like that I got wheels, and therefore I can go really fast! Like a little skateboard. They keep going, who gave her that? Why does she have that? Why did we let her keep that? The answer to that question. It came in a big Yoshi egg that it can live in. Oh, that's amazing. They don't like that I've got the little carts. I like that I've got the little carts. Who gave her that? Why does she have that? Is my favorite thing. I'm not gonna tell them. People visit me sometimes in the aquarium and they give me gifts. Sometimes they give me gifts just for funsies, and sometimes they give me gifts in exchange for a portion of my power. I don't know what they want. I don't know what power I've got to give them. I'm a 4-centimeter tall octopus. But that's what they're here for, I guess. They say they're making offerings or sacrifices, and that's neat. I wish they would sacrifice more, donuts. Or perhaps other sweets. What if they put a tiramisu? Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in both countries using an object from the other country?
That's the gist of it. Babal is just as strict as Alabast in their inspection of the people and things that enter their country, meaning that somehow both murder weapons were smuggled into the two countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries.
You mean the fake Yatagarasu?
In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of this I'm sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? Well, I believe it was in the Rose Garden on the Alabastian side of the embassy. The garden's just on the other side of this boundary. It's where Ambassador Elba was to give a speech tonight. At least, that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had a beard. In that case, I believe it's vital that I investigate this Rose Garden post-haste.
Oh wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it?
My guess is that it's a guitar pick. I picked it up just now over there. Do you think it'll be of any use?
There's a little water on it. But how did water get on it? It doesn't look like there's anything it could get wet from around here.
I was thinking, they have concerts here at this open-air stage like that from time to time.
Alright, I'll find its owner later.
Its owner is certainly the Jammin' Ninja. It looks like a guitar pick. It's also wet for some reason. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this?
What's this?
It's Mizu's perfume. It's the bottle that woman left behind that I found 7 years ago. I thought that one day it'd be of some use in tracking her down. So I kept it safe all this time.
Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to this for you.
Oh, that's going to be useful later. Ah, it does not like that. Wah. It's agreed that humans seem to like to sacrifice to creatures they don't understand. Yeah. Human heart? Oh. No, I don't wish they'd give that to me. Not a literal heart. Just a regular heart. Like an emoji heart. Like the little follow button is. Or the little like buttons are. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'd like a heart. I know, right? You've got a heart, though. It's filled with compassion for others. Where is the... Ah! I'm trying to go to the Rose Garden, and I don't know where it is. Which side is which?
I think I'll be returning to the investigation in Elabas now, but...
I know. I'll go back to Babal and do some more investigating there. Oh, that's so pretty. That's beautiful. Look at it. I love that pool. I love that so much. They did such a good job. Again, just me trying to open a portal. Aww. Isn't that pretty? I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm good at playing a Toreador. I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. How are things in Babal? Also, I can't really say I expect much from Scruffy and Zetgirl.
The investigation into Manny Cochin's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has. Yes, Ziatagarasu. Even now, I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries at will? Preposterous. Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where the witnesses claim to have seen the Yatagarasu. It needs more water. You can't climb out if you go in. Like I said already, I am fine and normal. Savvy just started comparing me to Sifrin. Yep, fine and normal. Or a ladder, like in Sims 2. No, you don't put ladders in pools. Sims go in the pool, ghosts come out. That's how you get a haunted house for the real Sims. I love the fact that the space-time continuum has, like, a processing limit. I know, right? It's called a Planck length. Val, because a fine and normal person has to specify that they're fine and normal. Yes. I specify that all the time because I am an octopus. A normal octopus. Totally normal octopus. Yeah. Definitely a normal octopus. Am I the only person in the world who doesn't like hurting their Sims? No, that's understandable. I sometimes will on purpose try to make ghosts, but I understand why people are like, oh, but I don't want to hurt the babies. They're people, though. I get it. I get upset when my Pokemon get too hurt. I also get upset when my Monster Sanctuary monsters get too hurt. And I know they'll be fine at the end of the battle, but I'm like, no, baby! And I'm nothing like Sifrin. Gotta be gentle with space-time or else it'll shatter. Not that I care. It can shatter all it likes. Remember, Rosebud. Oh! Yes, Rosebud, semicolon, 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 etc. That was the way that you got infinite money. There were 2 infinite money hacks in The Sims. One of them would glitch, if you did it too much, would give you, would take all your money away. But if you put semicolon, 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 and for a while put semicolons, you could get infinite money without any consequences. I loved that. Try to make ghosts, yeah. Although I started off with Sims 3, which has an expansion where you can just make them a ghost during Character Creator. See, that's perfect! In Sims 1, you couldn't make ghosts, like in the Character Creator. You had to put your Sims in the pool and not let them out. That was the fastest way to get ghosts. Fia, are you not believing me either? Well, you see. You see. Well, you see. Yes. We know they're never making Sims 5. Like, we know they're never going to do it. Do you need to dig into my brain on VC tonight? I don't need to. Will I by accident? Probably. I heard that this was where witnesses claimed to have seen the Yatagarasu. That's correct. Ambassador Alpa was to give a speech tonight here in Alabast. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly, it vanished. After that, there was fire in the Babalese embassy that the Yatagarasu started. I vow that not a single feather from the Yatagarasu shall escape my diligence. Whee! Time to investigate. A spotlight's busted. There's an overturned spotlight here. Then the Yatagarasu appeared. The audience that was waiting for the speech started to panic. I suppose that's when someone must have knocked it over. I'm having a tough time visualizing the mass confusion that took place here. I thought to use my whip to capture the Yatagarasu. However, there were people in my way, and I was unable to land even a single lash. I suppose this means that some other poor saps were hit instead. Those are pretty. A statue of a woman. I wonder if this lady is pouring water. It is It says that it is the statue of the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux. Humph. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it seems that you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. I opened my mouth about a statue, and she somehow made the leap to that. Is it possible that the Yatagrasu hid in these bushes? Of course not! They're rose bushes. If you've been spending so much time with Scruffy and that girl, they're rubbing off on you. But it's alright. I'll wake you from your stupor. Yo! Now, the next time you feel like sleep-talking, remember that I'll whip you for real. All I tried to do was offer up a possibility, and this is what I get? There are roses scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. It's not just for the aesthetics. This pool's water is also used in putting out fires. I see. Oh! The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to stay on until the pool's water reaches a certain level. If this water is used to put out fires, I suppose it must be refilled to its normal level. Which suggests that this pool was recently used somehow in this embassy. I still pray for the day we get My Sims Agents too. Oh, I remember My Sims Agents. Oh, that was a wild one. I still have My Sims DS. Love that game. Yeah. Oh. Didn't they say that there was a fire earlier? There was, but it was in the other embassy. The fire was in the Babalese embassy. Wait. No, was it in Alabasta embassy? I'm so confused now. I too am confused. Let's look at our court record. Manny Cochin is from the Babalese embassy, right? No, he's from the Alabasta embassy, right? Nope. I'm so confused. Which of these embassies caught fire? Okay, okay. The ball caught fire. We got it. Okay. Which means that Alabasta Pool should be fine. They shouldn't have caught fire. That was a weird autocorrect. I know. I get you. Which suggests that the pool was recently used somehow in this embassy. I guess I'll take some notes about it, just in case. Larry? No. How dare you surprise me like that? I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Edgy. Thanks for what you did back there. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment. I know that. Do you really think I'm the type to just jump into a pool and swim around for fun? Yes. All right, then. Did you by chance fall into the pool? Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right, Edgy? Your son? I guess I kind of lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. And I'm pretty sure he was around here when last I saw him. You imbecile! How can you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do if your son fell into the pool? And how old is this child of yours anyway? Huh? Oh, how old is he again? Larry, this is the first I've heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? The mother? Oh, that chick. The pink princess. The pink princess? Francisca, I agree with you. Yeah, I know, right? Is it weird that I fall asleep to people playing Magic the Gathering, which is a game I don't play, nor do I own a single card?
No, that's not weird.
Honestly, it's better that you don't have a single card from Magic the Gathering. Once you get one card, you get more cards, and then you have so many cards, and then you have too many cards, and then staff makes fun of how many cards you have. And then you're like, but they're really fun to play with, and then staff's like, no one else here even plays that game, and you go, wah. But Mint does, and Hooji does. And then they're like, yeah, that's 2 people, but you want to play more people, and I go, I know. And then they won't let you out. I want those Miku cards. Understandable. Do I count? Yes. Though you are online, so it's not the same quite. I tried to play it twice. You guys want me to tell you the tea? The person teaching me did not go easy on me, though. Yeah, when you're teaching a game, there's 2 ways of doing it. Sometimes you're just like, chuck them in the water, they'll figure it out. And sometimes, if you're like me, you're like, all right, so here's the deal. You're new at this, so I'm going to go very, very easy on you. And, like, I'm going to, on purpose, like, not do certain things that I know are possible so that you can get the hang of this. And then we'll add more mechanics as we go. My teaching decks for Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is a game I play a lot. I used to judge. For Yu-Gi-Oh! My teaching decks, the very first one I made was, like, the first one I'd put people up against was all normal monsters and just, like, regular spell cards. And then the next one I made, like, the sort of next level up, had trap cards mixed in and flip monsters. And the next sort of level up from that was one that had a lot of synergies between the different things. We would know it as an archetype these days, but at the time, archetypes weren't a thing yet. And then the next level after that was my actual deck that I was using at the time, which was a beatdown deck. My actual deck at the time was, and keep in mind, we didn't have Synchro, we didn't have Xyz. It was literally called the Fusion deck because that's all we had instead of the extra deck. And there was no limit on the number of cards you could have in your Fusion deck. You could have as many as you wanted. I had a gag deck that was just the Summoner of Illusions, where I would summon fusion monsters constantly from that, and it was the funniest thing. I didn't even have the materials for those, and you don't need them. It was just the silliest. The deck I actually used was all about, it was a beatdown deck, so it was all about returning other, it was all about hitting people really hard, really fast. Get the big monster out, hit them with it. Really hard. Protection? What's that? Never heard of it, won't need it. We're going to take a really big stick, and we're going to hit somebody with it. What if you miss? I don't understand the question. And then you hit them with the really big stick. I did have some protections in there for myself. I had things like Magic Cylinder and the standard things that you would have, Change of Heart. Some of these cards are banned now because they're too good. I am so many. I am more than 16 and therefore practically a grandmother. I'm only... Listen. Yeah, it's for the vine. Oh, right. You've probably never seen that vine. The vine goes like this. There's a little kid and she's standing on a chair and her mom asks, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I'm pretending to be an adult." And her mom goes, "Oh yeah? How old are you?" And she goes, "I'm 16. Practically a grandmother." And it's the funniest thing. Good night, Jelly Bucket. How are you going to hit them if you can't see them? My damage is yes, and my weapon is big. Yeah! That's how you do that.
Oh no, you don't just hand somebody one of your decks. You let them make their deck themselves with your guidance. You sit down and go, okay, so what do you want to do? There's a few different strategies in this game. There's, a beatdown strategy, which is what I use most of the time. There are defensive strategies. There are some gag strategies that you can try if you want. They don't work every time, but they help you learn the mechanics of the game and stuff like that. All right, good night, Carrie. And stuff like that. That's how you teach somebody to play a game. Teaching someone to play a game isn't about, here's what you can expect. Woof. Yeah, no, he let me pick which one, gave me like 5 minutes to read the cards, then off we went. Oh, no. I'm sure that there are people who would find that fun and interesting. I get that. But at the same time, I'm like, nope. Nope, that's not how we teach people a game. Yeah. Like, I don't get out my Hyperion deck on people first thing because they're not going to have any fun. The Hyperion deck is, hey, you wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh today? Too bad. Only I get to play Yu-Gi-Oh today. Like, it wasn't that bad, but he seemed disappointed that I didn't pick it up instantly. Yeah, some people are like that. They forget what it's like to not know how to do the thing because they've played it for so long. When you've played, sometimes when you've done something for a long time, you forget what it was like to be a beginner. And that's understandable. Like, it happens when people learn magic tricks and sleight of hand. Sometimes they forget what was cool when they were just watching the magicians. Stuff like that. Where, like, I can't, I understand what card juggling is, but I can't do the card juggling things. So when I see somebody do a really cool card juggling trick, I'm like, darn, that's really cool. But a magician who's very practiced eventually is just going to be like, oh, no, that's just a thing that you do. Like, imagine if you were little and you were like, wow, somebody's tying their shoes. How do they do that? Like, there was a time when we were all like that. Well, maybe. I don't have feet, but, you know. Oh. That's fair. Because I was really trying, and I'm willing to try it again. I just need time to figure it out. Exactly. And that's understandable. People need time, and they need a bit... They sometimes need practice, and a lot of times you just need, like, the boost to get a little bit confident with what you have. Especially with a game like Magic, where there's 700 bajillion million cards, and they all do different things, and they're all from different blocks. And if you're playing Legacy, heaven forbid. I am often playing Legacy, because I have cards I like that are very, very old. I have a Raised Dead that's from 1990. Deck building on anything is scary. That's true. Oh, golly. Side note, same reason I don't get out my Hyperion deck when Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't get out my blue-white control deck in Magic. My blue-white deck is specifically for situations where someone is being kind of mean. And by kind of mean, I mean, do you know those people who they think they're really good at the card game and they're like, I can beat anyone. I'm so much better than you. And then when they win, and they probably will because they have that feeling for a reason, they're like, I'm so much better than everybody here. Nobody's a better Magic player than me. And then I'm like, oh, neat. Hang on. I have just the deck for this. And it's my blue-white deck that I get out. And I sit down with them. And they realize about 2 turns in what's happening. Because I am playing Magic the Gathering today. And they are not. It's my favorite. I used to have a blue-black neutral deck. And the whole shtick with that one was, I am playing Magic today, and you are playing Magic today, until I don't want you to play Magic today anymore. It was entirely worked off of, Micah did Lattice work.
turning everything colorless, and then me taking using cards to take control of all colorless artifacts. So like they would build up their little side of the board, their little magic deck, and then I'd do that, and I'd be like, everything's colorless artifacts now, and they'd be like, no, all my things that are procced off of a particular color being on the field, wah! And then I'd get out one of the old cards that was meant for Commander, but you could play in a regular deck, and just be like, lol, haha, those are mine now. What are any colorless artifacts on the field? Those are mine now. And they'd be like, oh. And I'd be like, yeah. It was the funniest thing. I've played that deck against people for funsies quite often. I've played that deck against people who I needed to win against for my own pride. A grand total of twice, and both times it worked. I have never in my life seen somebody else so devastated. Actually, that's not true. My Hyperion deck absolutely devastated somebody we used to have at our Yu-Gi-Oh meetups. He was one of those people that was just like, I'm too good at the game. I'm so much better than all of you. I'm fantastic. And I was like, neat. I could be a game judge. And I'm like, I am a game judge. I can get you the like paperwork and stuff for Konami if you want. Followed by a lot of, you're not a game judge, not for real. And I'm like, no, I mean, you have to apply to Konami for it. You have to tell them that you know how to play the video game and everything. Or the card game and everything. And, anyway, that's why we had to have a fight with that Hyperion deck. It worked. Really funny. So basically the real one, so the real ones are basically when you unlock the boss as a character. Yeah. Sometimes I rock up and I'm like, this is the for funsies fight. This is the, like, disc 1 you are expected to win against the villain fight, because this is just to introduce the villain of this story. And then I roll up. You roll up later in the story and you're like, I'm feeling pretty fancy. I'm feeling pretty fine. I did a good job. And then I roll up and I'm like, hi. Remember me? Remember how you were like, whoa, I beat you. You suck at everything. And I was like, oh, that wasn't my real deck. And you were like, that's not an excuse. And I'm like, no, I was playing for fun. But I don't think you're playing for fun. So I'm going to remind you that you should play for fun. And then you get out the good deck. And then you remind people why playing to win isn't the way to be happy, because you are going to lose sometimes. It's really funny to do. I hope people learn their lessons about it. Sometimes maybe I think that they don't, but I hope that they do. I hope they learn the lesson that maybe that's not the only thing that they should seek. And if that's the only thing that they are seeking, which is if they're the type of person that only plays to get that sense of superiority, I hope they learn that that's not the only thing that they should seek, and they do some self-reflection and figure out why that's what they want. That's what I hope. I don't think that's what happens, but that's what I hope would happen. Oh, right. We were playing the game. I forgot again. 1v1 me, scrubs. Lol. True, we do know this. Yes, there is a way to play against another person. I really should do that with all of you. I forgot in that I got really busy, and then I was like, oh yeah, I was going to play Inscription with everybody, and then I didn't. Oops. I'm not good at Inscription deck building, so you'll all walk all over me, but that's fine. Because Inscription expects you to be able to be patient, and I'm not. There's a reason why I play beatdown decks. I can't do anything else. Catch these hands in my incredibly bloated deck. I put every card in there. You what? Yeah, every single card. What? That Yu-Gi-Oh deck that So Yu-Gi-Oh decks didn't used to have a limit on how many cards you could have in them. So somebody made a deck that was like 2,000 cards. He had 2 guys to carry it around like pallbearers. If I play a game, I have the option between casual and ranked. I usually do casual because ranked is full of those types. Not that I even play those kind of games a lot.
No, I get you.
Ranked, I got scared off of ranked Splatoon for a long time because I was scared because those types exist. But on the plus side, they can't say anything more to me than booyah or this way. Not like League of Legends. We'll never go back to that place. It was scary. Well, I think maybe it's still scary. Guild Wars 2 PvP actually has some of that. It's not as bad, which is a weird thing to say, but it's not as bad, but it's probably the roughest part of the game. The strategy, sacrifice mage apprentices for bones to feed gourmage. I like that. That's good. Green-blue deck for the win. I do like that. Right. Playing a game. A different game. Ms. Von Karma. I was a bit confused by this man's words for a bit there. However, I believe what he's looking for is the doll of the Iron Infant. Yep, because I'm the Steel Samurai through and through, heart and soul. And the Iron Infant is my cute little son. You have given a whole new meaning to the phrase, an astounding fool. Larry, we have not seen hide nor hair of the Iron Infant, but rest assured that if we should find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of there. Sounds good. In that case, I'll go search over there. Hey, wait! Well, it's not as if he gets very far swimming around in that pool.
Why done been punked? Oh, I'm better now. Oh no. There we go.
And though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble.
I bet this pool is connected to something in Babel. I bet if I dove into this pool, I could swim all the way to the Babylese embassy.
The statue bears a resemblance to the Primadux statue.
The plaque says King Primadux ends the battlefield. In order to save the queen, King Primadux put his life on the line and went to war.
So Primadux was actually a person of royal blood? I thought he was simply someone imitating a character from an ancient legend.
Well, what surprises me is that a real person who looked like the Steel Samurai existed.
I suppose there's that too. Oh yeah. We've seen this dialogue already. There are some beautiful roses here. They appear to be well maintained.
You're being too nice, Miles Edgeworth. The arrangement is devoid of any design sense. Roses only truly shine when they are grouped by color, one color per location. They lose their beauty when they are all mixed together like this.
I can't tell if she's being sarcastic or not. On second thought, there's a rather serious look on her face. I'd better leave it be.
They should really rethink the proper balance of red roses.
Of all the people to comment on the proper balance of things.
Insert the Mario 64 water theme here. Oh, that's such a nice theme. We should play Mario 64 later. Not right now.
I'm going to investigate everything around here. A stool. I suppose Ambassador Alba sat in this chair?
Ambassador Alba is very elderly. The chair was prepared for him should he have gotten tired during his speech.
In that case, why didn't he plan to make his speech sitting down in the first place?
The ambassador is also quite prideful, that's why.
He sounds like my old principal from grade school, who would speak at assemblies. So this is where Ambassador Alba was to give his speech.
The stage was set up nicely. However, where was the audience supposed to sit?
Perhaps they were supposed to sit around the edge of the pool?
That's such poor planning. If there was no place other than a spot or two by the pool, they really should have made seating arrangements, like how the gallery is set up in the court.
Indeed. You can sense that the consideration for the viewers was taken with those.
So in the end, the speaker and his audience were to stand the whole time,
Yes. Although I suspect the audience would have liked to sit down after a while. Eh. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir! Red Roses, White Roses, Disorder. Is that a reference to book 1 of the hit game Twisted Wonderland, the Rose Red Tyrant? Of course. Painting the roses red. We're painting the roses red. Not pink, not green, not aquamarine. We're painting the roses red. I mean, they did paint those roses red. They sure did. Didn't work out for them. But they did try. I don't know why, but the line, "Not me, your grace, the ace," has never left me. And it's not, it's like in the little, thing where all the cards are arguing over who did what. And like, it's never left me this whole time. Ace Attorney? Yeah, that game we're supposed to be playing. Oh yeah! And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and 1 person ran a light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find out anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lang. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor. I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Alba? We're to wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of today. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home on an urgent matter. Huh. As if I can be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the light.
I think we will.
You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Yes.
It's not like I was trying to help you or anything, Baka.
Yes. Accurate. I will say, because fanfiction writers will write anything, source, I write fanfiction. There is a ship here too, in case you guys were curious. I believe the stream has been 45 minutes of gameplay and half hours of other things. Yes! Listen, sometimes I get distracted. Especially playing the Ace Attorney games where we don't have to, I don't have to pay attention to them necessarily. We don't, that's just how we are on this channel. We don't question it. It's true. Really, one of these days I should just pop just chatting onto my Ace Attorney streams. It's all secretly just chatting. I know, right? We'll put the tag on next week. We need to do a just chatting stream. Yes, we do. I'll put the tag on it next week. Or on Tuesday, instead of playing horror, we'll vibe and I'll play Guild Wars or something and we'll just chill. That could go on for hours upon hours. Yes. Get me and Momo on call and have us a little round table. Oh no. It'd be too silly. The Yap stream. Okay. So what we do is we get an art program like whiteboard or something, and we all draw. I'm not a good drawer. I'm not a good artsmith. Just yapping, the new Twitch category. Oh, I should teach you guys about art. Okay. So, story time. Because I can't be contained, apparently. Very quick story time. Once upon a time, we were playing a game of D&D, and we were playing a very silly game of D&D. So we were kind of making fun of shades. One of our characters was legitimately a shade, but we decided to go silly with it instead of right serious, as D&D asks you to. And shades are from the Underdark, maybe the Shadow... I don't remember. Honestly, I can't even make up D&D names for places better than the worse than the D&D names. I see the vision. So one of my friends is playing as a shade. And the first thing that we decide is that shades are heckin' wild and don't really know, like, culture outside of the shade realm, whatever it is. And so everything became a blank smith. Every job was blank smith. So, like, surgeon became a cutsmith. An artist became artsmith. And I don't remember why it was, but it just, yeah, I don't remember why it was, but it just stuck like that. And the best part about being a cutsmith, is that you were a cutsmith. Callahan's now a cutsmith. He's also a stitch-em-up smith. A stitch smith, if you will. Because the thing with shades is that since they're already dead, they have cutsmiths for doing the surgery, for doing the cutting part, and they have stitch smiths for sewing you back up. And those two people are not the same person, nor are they even in the same building. And it's the funniest thing. And I was like, no, that's too silly. Like, we went to a haberdashery, which was in fact called a haberdashery, but the reason we went there was to see a hat smith. It was too silly. We went to a tailor shop to see a clothesmith. Not a haberdasher, of course, exactly. Not a tailor, of course. But but a clothesmith. And in fact, specialized tailors, we walked in and they're like, "Oh yes, that's the pants smith." And we were like, "What?" And literally 100% of shades have like these paragraph long nobility names. I can't even remember Bonwi's whole name. Wait, maybe. Let's see. Bonwi Ilgloom of the Ebon Shadow Ilglooms, Dark Lord of the... Oh no. I forgot the whole thing, but it was a whole paragraph, I promise. Wasn't my character. Lumi makes hilarious characters. The best thing was when Bon Wee came back for a little bit, trying to hide their identity, came back as Bon Matan, and just reversed everything in that paragraph. So it was like Bon Matan, Bright Lord of the Bright Lord of the I don't know what word we used for white. Ivory, I think. Yes. Bright Lord of the Ivory Light. Like it was like ridiculous. And we went, "Is that just Bon Wee again?" And to their credit, Lumi was like, "What? No!" And we couldn't tell. We were all like, Are they faking it? Are they faking it? Is this a double fake out where they act like they're faking it, but they're not faking it, but like they are, and they want us to think that is this what is happening here? Is this Bon Wee or not? I settled on this is definitely Bon Wee. And I stuck to that the whole time. No, of course not. Tug at the collar. The high collar. I know, right? I know, right? But the thing is that we'd already had this situation where Lumi was like, no, of course not. Obviously not. And if you guys remember the prison episode of Centaur World, it was like that with Glendale and what was her name?
The Beaglepuss Glendale, whose name was the city that's like right next to Glendale, I keep trying to say San Bernardino, but that's not the name. That's not the right city. But yeah, no, it was like that. It was just that situation, and we'd already had that situation, and we were like, wait a minute, what? That's not just Bon Wee messing around? Bon Wee, we're sorry. So we were like, it's a double fake out, right? It's gotta be real this time. And I was like, I'm going with it. Eventually I'll be right. It's definitely Bon Wee. It was. I believe Chet can wiki out the other Glendale. Beaglepuss Glendale. You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time. So, naturally, you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw the thief alright, with my own 2 eyes. The Yatagarasu was always there, lurking in the shadows. But when the spotlights were turned on for Ambassador Alba's speech, a shadow appeared. That's when cries of, "It's the Yatagarasu!" rang out. The next second, the spotlight went out. And by the time we got the area lit again, the deft thief had vanished. When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all of the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, the Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that basically all you saw was the thief's silhouette? Yes.
If all you saw was the shadow, then it is entirely possible that the shadow belonged to someone else.
Ha! Good thinking, sis. You might be right. If it weren't for the fact that there was no one else with that same shape, not amongst the staff or the audience members. My men have already done a thorough check of everyone, so I know I'm right. Someone else's shadow. That sounds like a plausible hypothesis. The sudden appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I figured out its true origin.
Me too, because I can see that sword sticking up. I expected no less from my subordinate. Now, let's hear what you know on the subject.
What really cast the shadow of the Yatagarasu? Oh, I want to say it's that sword, but... I mean,
it's all these different statues. It's just the angle. That's why the spotlights are knocked over. I just don't... I think I'm going to go with my initial thought of statue.
Take that!
The suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. Is it not possible that it was created by this statue?
Are you playing me for a fool, Miles Edgeworth? This statue bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Yatagarasu.
You are correct. However, the statue is but one part of the whole picture.
What do you mean by only one part?
What's the other part to the real form of the Yatagarasu shadow?
Why, it's the other statue. I can see it.
Take that!
Because the spotlights are right by the statues. It's another statue. I can't find it. Oh, it's okay. We'll find her. Unrelated, but I love the trope of legendary hero, revered person in their field being retired and the newer generation asks them for help, which they deny at first but eventually grow a soft spot. Aww. The Obi-Wans of the world. Actually, no. Obi-Wan's not even that guy.
Obi-Wan's the other guy. He's the one who's like, he was an ancient hero, and you show up and you're like, we're looking for ancient hero. And he's like, oh yeah? Neat. And you're like, what do you mean, neat? Followed by you saying all these different things, and he's like, yeah, of course I know him. He's me. That's 10 out of 10. It's usually coupled, yeah, right? It's usually coupled up with the ancient hero who's like, nah, kid, you don't want to get into this. This is war. What do you want with it? You don't.
Alright, we hydrate as Chad demands. That's why I like Ulbrich from Octopath Traveler. He's not quite those things because he's a main character. As mean as you can be an Octopath Traveler. But I really like him. He's definitely the old, like, oh, kid, you don't... I'll teach you how to fight with a sword, but you don't want to fight. And a big stretch. And we'll do arm circles again, as usual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. It's another statue. The Yatagrasu statue, shadow was made from the shadows of these two statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now, the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were moved when the guests were in a panicked state. However, if we were to restore the lights to where they were when the thief appeared... You believe that the two shadows will create the Yatagrasu's shadow? Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Yatagrasu. First, if we set up a spotlight to cast a shadow of the King Primadux and the battlefield... The shadow of the king's statue would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Likewise, if we set up the light on the queen who spoke of love to King Primadux, her silhouette would also appear on the backdrop to the stage. Aha! So if we were to combine the two shadows... It looks nothing like the Yatagrasu's shadow. Miles Edgeworth, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Francisca. The way the light needs to be shown on the queen's statue is wrong. What do you mean by that? I believe the whole of the king's shadow needs to be used for this to work. However, in the case of the queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. Rather, the person who created the shadow only used one part of her shadow. Only one part? Yes, and that one part alone is enough to fill out the Yatagrasu's shadow. Why didn't you say that in the first place? You're right. I apologize. Now, what part of the queen's statue was used to complete the Yatagrasu's shadow? I just can't imagine it wouldn't be. Think back to what is missing in our shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? Ah! That's right. It can only be the shadow of the queen's left hand. Francisca, can we please adjust the spotlight's position? So that it only shines on the queen's left hand? Alright, let's give it a try and see what we get. Ta-da! Fiera, would you look at the time? I am. I just want to finish their little chatter so I don't forget where I am. Oh, Ninjago. But then, when they need to fight, you know you're in trouble. Yes. It reminds me of half a squid. It does. It's got 5 appendages, and that is half of a squid. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus all its hair. Oh, well. Yeah, this is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's positioning beforehand. And then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. In their panic, the guests must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume was also a part of the culprit's plan. By the time the lights came back on, the Yatagrasu's shadow had vanished, which means that the shadow was a construct from the very beginning. You see, the Yatagrasu never did visit Alabast tonight. The only country that thief visited was Babal, although it can be assumed that the Yatagrasu had an accomplice in Alabast. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show. I sense that the biggest clue yet to solving this case is the existence of this accomplice. Yeah! Woo! Full health! How's the investigation going? Detective Bad, have you come to join us in investigating the Yatagrasu? I've left the murder in Agent Lang's charge. And my only target from the very beginning is the Yatagrasu. So yes. So what have you found out? I got a piece of evidence. May I see it?
Sure, but you might regret it.
We're here because we already are ready to face whatever may come. Yes! Is it almond cookie that you're thinking of? The detective cookie? That's almond cookie, I think. Yeah, I'm so good at this. I remember the cookies. Yeah. So, if you please.
When people heard the commotion, bystanders started gathering, and one woman claimed, "I'm telling ya, I'm a genuine international journalist." She gave me an interesting picture. A journalist? Well, actually, she's a freelance cameraman. This is the photo I got from her.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
What in the world?
The Edgeworth is flying through the air?
The times, they are a-changin'.
And the times they are a-changin'.
It's not just man, but evidence. Even they lie to us now.
When was this photo taken?
Apparently, right after the fires on the 4th and 5th floors were put out. It was taken from a nearby building that you can see the embassy from.
I see. So this was taken after the fire.
The blur in this picture took off from the Babalese embassy, flew over the boundary, and headed for the embassy of Alabast.
This is simply not possible. People are incapable of flight.
Is that a fact?
No, we know people are incapable of flight because of that circus case from Ace Attorney 2. It's totally Lotta, isn't it? Yeah.
I've had the pleasure of dealing with a case involving a flying person once.
He did! Actually, come to think of it, I've come across a case like this as well. 2, actually. She did!
Maybe it happens more often than we think.
Am I up to the task of solving the mystery behind this photograph? Hi, just discovered your channel. Hi, Digivixen!
What do you think of being subbed by Francie in this case?
I'll tell you, a good portion of my of Twitch chat is thirsty for Edgeworth. The other portion is thirsty for Francisca. I'm just out here like, yes. The other portion is like me. You don't have to say how big the portion is. I'm thirsty for both. Good. Equal opportunity thirsting. We love it. Everybody needs their water. Especially me. I'm an octopus and 4 centimeters tall. That's not tall enough for anything. Not even tall enough to ride the roller coasters.
Well, the Adagrasu took off from the Babalese embassy, so I should start from there. Francisca, I need to return to the Babal investigation for a bit.
All right. I'll continue the investigation on this side of the building.
All right, I'm counting on you.
Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Now come on, let's get back to our investigation.
Yes, let's.
Come on, Kay. You're not allowed in Alabast. Whoa, it hates that. Wolf. I'm thirsty for them to be together just because it would enrage Manfred. Ha! I am absolutely a Phoenix Edgeworth shipper. But we got that talk earlier today where I'm like, you can ship anything you want, and I'm just glad people are having fun because these are fictional characters and we don't care. It's not as though they are real people with real feelings. However, I'm I'm big on I'm big on Phoenix Edgeworth. I see the vision. I see the vision with Edgeworth Gumshoe, and I see the vision with Edgeworth Francisca. I do see those. I get it. Multi-ship! Woo! Listen, I will write any ship. I will write practically anything if I think it would be interesting to examine the themes and things that I want to do. Yes, I know I would look at the time. Or maybe I wouldn't. Ho, 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 ho. Alright, here we are back in here where the place burnt down. To think, after all that running around, we're right back where we started. It would appear that way. Oh no. Ambassador Polino, please. Hoy, Mr. Edgeworth. Have you found Manny's killer yet? I'm terribly sorry, Ambassador Polino, but I have yet to find his killer. Oh, then I guess this murder really was the work of the Yatagarasu. Let's get one thing straight. It was the work of the fake Yatagarasu. The real Yatagarasu is a noble vigilante who's only out to steal the truth. Do you watch Miraculous at all? I've been Tumblred to it, but no, I do not watch Miraculous. Rather, I didn't at the time. And it's on the list of things. I do like his butterfly pin. That makes me happy. I have a big hairpin like that. It's too big for me because I am small. I want an eye pin. I wonder why. Magnus joke. Miss Faraday, please don't make such a sad face. If there's anything I can do for you, all you have to do is ask, alright? Mr. Polino. Actually, there is one thing you can do. Will you allow us to take another look around? We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier. Wah! Welcome in! Welcome in! Yippee! Hooray! Welcome in, Raiders! Welcome in! Hi, Atlas Eris! Ooh, it's an Atlas raid! They're landing on the stream! Whee! Hi, everyone! For those of you that don't know, I am Fiera Luna. I am a 4 centimeter tall octopus. I live in an aquarium, and streaming is my enrichment! We do variety streams here. We do variety streams here and have a lot of fun with it. Tonight we're playing Ace Attorney Investigations. This is the first one. I also have the second one because I got the duo pack. Let's see, what else do we play on this channel? We play this, we play Final Fantasy VI right now. On Tuesday we'll play a spooky game. I don't know what that will be yet because we just finished the last one we were playing, which was Goisha, which is an old point-and-click horror. Oh golly. We play Guild Wars 2 on Thursdays. We play something on Wednesdays. Right. We play regular Ace Attorney on Wednesdays, where we're Phoenix instead. On Fridays, every Friday in December, I'm going to crochet with all of you for a little while. I'm going to borrow Staff's hands so that I can crochet with hands. And on Saturdays, I think I play Bravely Default. Yes! Guild Wars 2! I haven't played in so long. I know, right? But it's so good. I've been playing for 9 years, and I played Guild Wars 1 before that. You're an octopus, but I'm only counting 7 tentacles. Oh, it's difficult to see the last one because I am holding the controller with it. You can kind of see it tucked in the back. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the one in the back that you can kind of see on the... Is that... It's my left! And your right, I think. It was tucked back there. It was tricky to spot. And thank you for the follows, everybody. My follows are anonymous because I believe in lurkers' rights. You are more than welcome to follow along. And all that stuff. And you guys know the drill. Follows help the channel. They make it how do you say? They make it so that I can do more of this. Because aquarium staff said if I do lots of this and get lots of aquarium visitors, then they'll let me do this, but all the time. And I like this. Yes, yes, Bravely Default. I love it. I play a lot of Nintendo games. I have a lot of DS and 3DS games and stuff that I like playing. I am a huge nerd for old RPGs because the golden age of SNES of the SNES RPG was slightly after when I started getting into RPGs. To put this into context, I learned to read specifically to play Zork. My older cousin had a copy of Zork, and I was very excited. Dokapon Kingdom! We love Dokapon Kingdom! I think I have Dokapon Kingdom Connect somewhere. I was playing with some of my friends IRL. And then something terrible happened. It wasn't that terrible, actually. It's just that one of us moved. And we still have it. It's just really hard to make everybody's schedules work together. Wah! Time zones, how dare! I was having a fun time with it. I was trying to become the acrobat on purpose. I don't usually bother with the acrobat job in Dokapon Kingdom. I know it's a precursor to the hero job. I don't usually bother with it because it's really hard to get. But somebody was like, you can't have it. And I was like, what do you mean I can't have it? They're like, only I get to be the hero. And they like started on purpose like targeting me. And I wasn't even trying. I just really like gambling in the gamble cave. So I was like, fine. And then I decided to try to be the acrobat out of spite. It's the funniest thing to do. We love Dokapon here. Let's go gambling. Yeah, in the gamble cave. I'm not a very interesting Dokapon player, though, because, like, I want two things from a Dokapon game. Thing one, to have a silly time and be a thief right at the beginning, which is the silliest possible time. And thing two, go big or go home. And that's it. I usually do the ninja type route. That's fair. Val, Dokapon Kingdom is a game that ruins friendships. It is on purpose designed to be as frustrating as possible to you and the people that you play it with. It is instant tilt material. That is why I pick... Yeah, it's... Okay, so the way that Dokapon Kingdom works is it is done up like a board game. And you're all heroes. You're all adventurers. And your job, ostensibly, is to save the kingdom from monsters. Except what your job really is to refill the treasury. For the king, who's broke. It's very Mario Party-esque. There are random events. There are sticky situations that you can get yourself into. Yes, the king! There are sticky situations that you can get yourself into. It is a whole moment. It's very silly. It's a very silly game, but if you are not tilt resistant, it is not the game for you. I have seen friendships actually ruined by Dokapon Kingdom. By things like, but you said you wouldn't do X. Well, yeah, but then I got to do X. Not my fault. You stole my cool sword. Yeah, so? You died. I killed you. I get your things. So you have to be really tilt resistant for it. It's like, sorry, plus Monopoly, plus a tabletop D&D game mixed into one. Yeah, and it's competitive. Like Four Swords, because it hates you and wants you to be sad. It doesn't actually want you to be sad, just some people have a good time playing a game that's like that. I like it. I will probably play it eventually on stream. When I do, it'll be a night where I warn people that that's what we're doing, and then I get some folks to come play with me, because it's always more fun to play with people, to play with viewers like you. We love PBS in this house, too. Oh, I was supposed to end like 20 minutes ago, but here we are. If I get the game, could I join? Yes, but be careful. Look it up first and see what it's like. Ooh, Ooh, I got 2 of the Lego D&D blind minifigs. Neat! Caught that reference, lol. Playing against the CPUs can be fun. That's true. The CPUs all seem to be programmed with harry the player as much as possible, which I appreciate, because that's how real humans play that game, too. Source, me. I want to be an obstacle. I don't want to win when I play Dokapon Kingdom. I don't need to win. I need everyone else to lose. And that's a very different game to play. Right. I was playing a video game. Oh no. We'll finish up this sequence. I often quote, "We'll be back after these messages." Yes. Sounds like how you play Magic too. Yes. Yes, I am a huge fan. I have two flavors of playing a card game. I either have a beatdown deck that it's going to win in like 3 turns or not at all. Or I have a deck that is, I'm playing the game and you are not. Although, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a very special instance of that deck, besides my usual, I'm playing the game and you are not. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a set of cards that if you have them all in a deck and all out, we start playing Magic the Gathering instead. There's a card that changes everybody's, hand size limit to 7. There are multiple monster cards, but the one I use most is Patrician of Darkness, that lets you choose the monster targets for your defenders. And there's a few other cards that do that have a couple of other effects. I forget what they all were. And then I was like, I think I would like to play Magic the Gathering. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong deck. Anyways, have fun with Edgeworth. Also, fun fact, if you win as a girl, the king dresses up in a wedding dress and offers to marry you. Amazing! Amazing! Imagine someone winning a game of Dokapon Kingdom. Never happen. Never happen! Speaking of Vine references. You remember when I like you? No? Good. Because never happen. Our chat is just like the same 8 or 9 topics. That's not true. Sometimes we mix in new topics. Because somebody in chat has a new special interest and I like hearing about them. And yes, you're right. Poleno is a type of butterfly. That's why he's got the butterfly pin. They did a good name.
We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier.
Oh, sure. Please, feel free to investigate to your heart's content.
Also, there are a few questions I'd like to ask you personally, Ambassador.
If it will bring a smile back to Miss Faraday's face, then I'll gladly answer anything. Thank you, Mr. Poleno. You're a total gentleman. You don't have to waste such nice words on me, little miss. Hey, Sir Poleno.
Those two sure got chummy awfully quick.
You know, it's easy to say we're going to investigate, but where should we begin?
We should probably start by comparing the state of this room before and after the fire. And then we should look into the matter of the suspicious person you spotted.
Yeah, when I came into this room, the person was already gone. But I'm willing to bet that person I was chasing is Mr. Cochin's killer.
It's a loop, one could say. They could.
We're not playing in Stars in Time yet. We will play in Stars in Time at some point. I want to play Carry On real bad. I want to be the monster. I want to be the spooky monster. It's a big spooky monster.
The loop? Is that a reference to... Your catoid machine has stopped working. Insert 1 coin to continue.
You'll see. It's fun. It's fun and silly, and you get to eat guys. They got flamethrowers, so they shouldn't have flamethrowers. That's bad. So you get to put them to bed and also take them with you sometimes on adventures. They become part of your biomass. And I like that for me.
We don't know that yet. However, it's hard to believe that person is unrelated. Furthermore, because the key to the Yatagarasu stole 7 years ago was found here, it signals that perhaps Ms. Yu was also somehow involved.
I knew it! That woman is almost definitely Mr. Cochin's killer.
Yet again, we don't know that. There are too many mysteries to be solved here. Speaking of the Yatagarasu and mysteries, I received a most mysterious photo from Detective Bad.
Uncle Bad?
He's taking part in the investigation too? Yes. He's been chasing after the Yatagrasu for all these years.
Uncle Bad.
Now then, I was told that this photo was taken just after the fire.
Well, what? That kind of looks like the person in the long coat I was chasing. Does this mean that I was chasing the fake Yatagrasu after all?
I don't know the answer to your question, but I don't think people can fly either.
But this could be how that person escaped.
Well, we'll need to investigate a bit more before we can say anything about that. In any case, let's not dawdle anymore and pick up our investigation where we left off.
Okay. Okay, chat. This time we're through all the chatter. We're through all the talk. Finally. Finally, we're to a point where I can save. I know what I'm doing. I'll know what I'm doing next Sunday when we come back and play this game. It's fine. We're normal and fine. I was late anyway, so, you know. Finally. Finally goes chat like, oh, I can't wait to get away. Oh, no. Anyway, you guys know what that means. We're going on a little adventure. It is adventure time.
No, you don't have to be sorry. It's funny.
We're going on a little adventure. Where will we go? I know where I said we would go. Let's go see. Okay, that is it for tonight, everybody. There's somebody I need to search for real quick to see. Are you on right now? Mep. Did I put follows to you? I did. Darn. Not live anymore. Okay, let's find a new person. Let's see who we got, what we got playing. Ooh, I know what I want to go see. So it's what we're going to go see. Where's my stream? Okay, we're going to go see some speed running. It's a Super Mario World exit race. The way that works is you have two speedrunners or maybe more, and they race to try and get all the things that the speedrunners like to do. Okay. We are going on an adventure! Let's go. All right, let's go watch some Super Mario World. That's it for tonight, everybody. I will see you all